Everyone calls Satou the broken one, the shut-in, completely cut off from the world, but no one ever talks about Misaki, the girl who tried to save him. What if she was just as broken, maybe even more? Misaki's trauma runs deep. Her father died shortly after she was born. Her mother remarried a man who beat both her and Misaki, a drunk who rarely worked and took out his anger on them. Eventually, her mother ended her own life. Misaki was left with that abusive stepfather, and a message carved into her mind. Everyone becomes unhappy if I'm around, that she brings misfortune, that her existence is a burden. Her auntie and uncle took her in, and they cared for her, but she couldn't shake the feeling that she didn't belong. She dropped out of school, couldn't adjust, couldn't connect. So what do you do when you believe your life only causes pain? You try to be useful. You look for someone, just one person, who might need you. Misaki found Satou, a shut-in, isolated and alone, and to her, he was the perfect target. If even one person needed me, it would mean my stepfather was wrong. I'd have a reason to live, she said. She makes him sign a contract, threatening a fine if he doesn't attend their sessions. She cooks for him, cleans, sets up structure, even pretends to be his girlfriend at one point. She brings him purpose, but it wasn't just kindness. It was survival. Helping Satou gave her life meaning. This wasn't a healthy relationship. Misaki kept herself hidden. Satou didn't even know where she lived. But she knew everything about him. She watched him from a house above the city, saw into his apartment, the park, the shelter counseling sessions were held at. He tracked his movements, knew his birthday, his parents' names, his phone number, but he never told her those things. When Satou eventually finds out, he's horrified. He runs, tells her not to come back. This wasn't love. It was obsession wearing the mask of care, control disguised as concern. And deep down, Misaki looked down on him, saw him as beneath her. Because when you feel worthless, you try to feel worthy by saving someone even more, quote-unquote, broken. But Satou was never truly hers. He had a connection with Hitomi, with Yamazaki. In one episode, she watched him leave with Hitomi. She panicked, shouted his name, then tripped and fell. Later, she sees him enjoying RMT with Mia, whose avatar was a cat, so she dresses as a cat girl to win him back. This creeped him out. Then Yamazaki moved away. Misaki thinks, now he's alone, now he needs me. She cooked, tried harder. But then Yamazaki said he'll send him dairy products from his farm. She then sets a final quote-unquote test on New Year's Eve to see if he can handle a crowd. They got separated unintentionally. She searched for him, but Satou was with Hitomi, linking arms in an alley. Misaki watched, seeing her usefulness vanish. Letting me see Satou-kun and her senpai come out of the hotel is God's ill will, she said. She starts questioning God, fate, herself. She wrote another contract which read, Satou must not dislike her. He must gradually come to like her. He must never leave her. Be kind to me and I'll be kind to you. I put in effort to rescue you, she said. Satou rejects it, saying it feels hollow. She broke down, screaming, crying. Why? I'm the only one left in your life. If you don't sign this, you'll be alone forever. Throughout the anime, Misaki is often associated with cats. She feeds stray cats, draws them, and has pictures of them too. In one scene, Satou arrives early to their counseling sessions and sees her feeding a stray cat. He speaks to her, and eventually she says, cats look like they're okay, anytime, anywhere, even if they're alone. She's talking about herself, not in the literal sense, but through quiet envy. Misaki wishes she could be like a cat, composed, unbothered, appearing perfectly fine even when things aren't. She's had a difficult life, and in the early parts of the series, she wears a mask of perfection, calm, mysterious, self-assured, but as the story progresses, we watch that mask slowly crumble. Satou replied, cats are pretty unfaithful, you know. Even if you feed them, they forget you. Misaki answers, it's okay, as long as I give him what he wants, he'll remember me. The cat represents Satou. He's the stray. Misaki projects onto him the hope that if she keeps giving support, attention, care, she'll be remembered, maybe even needed. Her relationship with Satou is tangled in this fantasy that she can save him, and that saving him will give her meaning. But when that stray cat dies later in the series, it's not just the death of an animal, it's the death of her illusion, her belief that her dedication and help can save him. and that she could be remembered for saving him. The cat represents Misaki, the cat represents Satou, the cat also represents her fantasy, and its death is her reckoning. Misaki had been barely holding on. After Satou rejected her, she didn't fight, she just watched, quietly. One day she sees him walking home from work in the rain. He's wet, exhausted, but he's trying. And in that moment, she said, "Congratulations," almost like a goodbye. In her mind, the project was complete. Satou's no longer a hikikomori, where instead of peace, there's a hollow ache, because if she's no longer needed, what's left? She collapsed, ended up in hospital. But when Satou arrived, she was gone. He found a note, a clue, and he knew exactly where she went. The hometown, where the cliff her mother jumped from, is located. Satou got there just in time. She wasn't angry, just tired, ready to let go, not dramatically, but like someone who's carried too much for too long. And she did. But at the very last second, Satou saved her. He pulled her back, not just from the cliff, but from the belief that her only worth was saving someone else. It's a raw, terrifying moment, but also something new, a reset. For the first time, neither of them is pretending. They're no longer a broken girl trying to fix a broken boy. They're two hurt people choosing honesty, choosing to heal. Not a perfect ending, but a real beginning. We live in a world where it's easy to say, "I'm fine," when we're not. There are many occasions where people ask if I'm okay. I just answer yes without second thought, knowing full well that in fact, I'm not okay. I could do with the help, but I fear being vulnerable. Like Misaki, we wear masks. We say we're fine, online, in real life, even when we're not. And we look for validation by helping others, by being needed, instead of healing ourselves. But savior complexes don't fix trauma, they only delay the confrontation. Misaki wasn't a villain. She wasn't manipulative for fun. She's broken. Her way of surviving was to save someone who seemed more broken than her. But healing doesn't come from being needed. It comes from being seen, from being honest, vulnerable, real. So if you see yourself in Misaki, in her fear, her loneliness, her desperation, let this be your reminder. You don't need to be perfect. You don't have to fix anyone. You just need to be. And that's enough. Thanks for watching, and take care.